Hello guys and girls, today we are going to tie a really cool Mayfly Emerger. This imitates both, you can use it for Danica and also Vulgata. Ephemera Vulgata, Ephemera Danica. Which is our largest Mayflies in Sweden. But of course you can also imitate this as other bigger Mayflies in Europe or wherever you will fish bigger Mayflies. So this is a Ahrex FW or freshwater 531 size 10. Then I use a micro thread from Textreme. This is a black one. You can use other threads and colors also, but I like this. It's very thin and strong. If you're hearing some background noises, that is my I have a fire running. Then for the tail we are using a really nice material. This is Ostrich Herl. That is really nice for this kind of tails. It's kind of strong. And it looks nice in the water and stuff like that. And of course, since it's a Mayfly, I take 3 of these fibers and kind of measure them out, so I will have them in a good amount or a good length to the back. And then it's just to tie it in. And cut it off. Then we're gonna use thin foam. This is 2 millimeters of just a tan foam. And I will do a little V-cut. With a sharp scissor. See if this works. Just like that, if you see it. And then we just tie it in. This will be like a back body shield. Then for the body, I'm using Snowshoe rabbit foot dubbing in the color brown olive. You can also use like a pheasant tail or something, the color pheasant tail, but this brown olive is really nice. And this is the trick now. You take just a really small amount of dubbing, just a few laps, turns like this, and then tie down this foam. That will also work a little bit like a floating device and will make the fly lay like perfect in the surface film. And then you do this. Don't use too much dubbing in this, even if you're building up this kind of body. But try to make a really nice taper to it. If this is 100%, then this is 110 or 20, 140, and then you make these segments slightly bigger for every segment. So it looks and gets the taper of a Mayfly, emerging Mayfly. Tie this down, cut this off, and save this. We're gonna use it later. And then I use a little dubbing brush just to get some of these nice fibers out, so it could actually imitate some gills of the fly. Then I use a brown marker pen and I color up this, and then I use my finger just to remove some of it so it doesn't look painted, or so it looks slightly more natural. Then for the Wingcase, as many times I use CDC, natural CDC, and since this is a slightly larger fly or bigger fly, I use 3 CDC feathers with good fibers. As you can see, and then I tie it in and then pull these back so you get it all collected like that, and tie it down. Then I make a small dubbing loop, not have to be large because we're just gonna have a little amount of special dubbing or fur in this one. But first we start to dub up this body like this. Looks good. And then we're gonna use for the legs here a really cool material. This is called Arctic fur, and it's from Swiss CDC. It's some kind of fur with long fibers, and the colors I use is one that is called Pompeian red and raw umber. It's a brown, and Pompeian red is like brown reddish, and raw umber is kind of olive. And then I mix them together like this, and don't overdo it with this fur. Since it's just gonna be some legs, you don't need much. And then I put this in the dubbing loop and spin it. Then I use my dubbing brush again, and I rib this or tie this these legs in. Like that. Do a couple of turns with this thin thread, and then I brush again with my dubbing brush, and I try to brush the hairs down and a little bit backwards. And then we're gonna use this, or make the Wingcase, of course. I take the CDC feathers, put them just into the front, and then push them back, and then tie them in. Just look how it looks. It looks very good. Cut this off. And then we're gonna use this foam again that we had, and I just press it a little bit with my fingers like this, and then I take a lighter and I just do a little bit of burning like that, and then I just tie this in as another floating device. And when it's still there, I whip finish and end the fly. cut this off, not too close, but something like that. I take the marker pen again, color this up, and then I just use my thumb to make it look cleaner. So there's a really nice Mayfly emerger for this slightly bigger Mayflies that we have in May, June, July, depending of where you are living. So tie this up and fish it well. Material list is in the description. Thank you for watching and all the support.